All right, we're going to work on lesson 1, learn 4, saving documents. This is in JasperActive Word. This one was really tricky. I think most of the students had a hard time getting 100% on this one. It took me about 8 tries to get it all correct the first time. So if this is your first time, click on Learn. Otherwise, if you're trying to fix some of the errors, click on Practice. And then when prompted, click Continue. And wait for it to load. I'm going to go through and uncheck all of mine very quickly so that we can do them together. All right, so step 1 is save an existing document. It says, with the agenda document displayed on the screen, in the quick access toolbar, click Save. Well, if I look at my document right now, it doesn't look like there's a document there, but sometimes you have to just click into it, and there it appears. So now quick access toolbar, that's up here in the upper left-hand corner. I'm going to click the Save, and there's my Save As. Now it wants me to go to this PC, and then to Browse, and then to navigate to my JasperActive folder. So Documents, JasperActive. I'll double click in there. Yours will probably have your name first, and then it will have these 3 folders. It wants me to save it into Documents/JasperActive/My Projects. So I'm going to go into the My Projects folder. And then in the field name field, that's right here, file name field, type agenda for soccer coach meeting. So it already says agenda, so I'm just going to click after that. Agenda for soccer coach meeting. And then in the save as type right here field, that's this guy right here, it wants me to make sure it's a Word document. So, or a docx, which is what the default is. So we're good. It wants me to press the Enter key. So I'm not going to hit Save, I'm going to hit the Enter key. And now you can see at the top, it says agenda for soccer coach meeting up here. That's how I know it got saved correctly. Now I can select marked as answered and next. Step 2, save a document using a keyboard shortcut. It wants you to switch to a blank document to save it with a descriptive file name. So step 1 says on the taskbar, point at the Word icon and switch to the blank document. Now this one has kind of thrown a lot of kids off because they don't realize that the taskbar is this area down here at the bottom of the computer that's always visible, right? So here's our Word icon, and when I hover over it, I get 2 documents. One is my agenda for soccer coach meeting that I just saved. The other is a blank document. So I'm going to click into my blank document. And we want to make sure always when we're doing keyboard shortcuts that our document is active. And you can tell it is by looking at where that cursor is flashing or where that insertion point is. So my document is active. It wants me to press Control S. So I'm going to hold the Control key down and tap S. And because I'm saving it as it's a new document, the Save As is going to pop up. Now it would like me to click Browse and navigate into my JasperActive folder. So Documents, JasperActive, and then again, yours will probably have your name first. You need to find your projects folder. And then, and look, I can see the one I just saved already. But this time in the file name field, so right here, currently it says Doc2, but I want it to say Travel to Europe Notes. So I'll type Travel to Europe Notes in the file name field. And then it says in the Save As Type field, click the arrow and select a Word 97 to 2003 document and click Save. So right here it says Save As Type, and I can change this as a whole drop-down menu to any of these other types. So right here is the Word 97 to 2003 document. I want to click that. There's also one that says Template. I don't want that one. I want the document. I'm going to click that. And then it asks me to click Save. So I will click Save. And up here you can see now it says Travel to Europe Notes Compatibility Mode. All right, so in my instructions, step 4 says to type Travel to Europe Seminar and press Enter twice. So I'll type that at the top, Travel to Europe Seminar, and then I'm going to hit the Enter key twice. 1, 2. It's moved it down 2 lines. Step 5 is to type, choose one or more cities as your destination. So it's not asking me to type in city names, but to actually type that line in. And then it wants me to hit Control S again to save the changes that were made. So watch my cursor when I do this. It will probably either flash or you'll very briefly see a little circle there. There you go. So I know it's saved. I can click Mark as Answered and go to Next. Now the next step says with the Travel to Europe Notes file open on the screen, click File, that's up here, and ensure Info is selected on the left panel. So that's kind of the default. Info is here. And then it wants you to click Properties and Advanced Properties. So here's the Properties, and there's a drop down, and here's Advanced Properties. And if I click that, I get this dialog box that opens. Click in the individual fields and type the following. In the title field, it wants me to type Travel to Europe Seminar. So here where it says title right here, I'm going to type in Travel to Europe Seminar. And then in the subject, it wants me to write notes on how to book a trip to Europe. So here's the subject field. Notes on how to book a trip to Europe. And then under keywords, it wants me to type travel, comma, Europe, comma, tips for travel. Oh, I can spell. And then when you're done, it wants you to click OK and click the back button to return the document. So here's OK. And then up here in the upper left-hand corner, that's the back button to return to the document. So I'm going to click Mark as Answered and click Next. Now it wants me to make changes to the document. Step 1 says click at the end of the Choose Destination line. So here it is, starts with Choose, ends with Destination. I will click right there. There's my cursor. And it wants me to press Enter. And then it wants me to type compare prices from online travel sites as well as actual travel agencies, and then press Enter twice. 1, 2. On this third line, or step 3, it wants me to press the Tab key. When I press the Tab key, you notice that the cursor jumps over a little bit. And then it wants me to type window shop brochures and write down prices of tours so you can research what they may have to offer online, and then press Enter twice. 1, 2. Now I can select Mark as Answered and go to the next step. Step 5 wants me to click in the blank line between the second and third paragraphs and press Delete. So I have 1, 2, here's my title, and then I have 1, 2, 3 paragraphs. In between paragraph 2 and 3 is this blank line. Now it doesn't want me to hit the backspace key. It specifically says press Delete. There is a Delete key over on the right hand side of your keyboard. You need to find that, and when you hit Delete, it will delete that line. The next, it wants me to click at the beginning of so in the third point. So I have point 1, point 2, point 3. I'm going to find the word so. It says click at the beginning of so in the third point and drag to select to the end of the line. So it wants me to click here, and then I'm going to drag my mouse while holding that button down until it gets all the way to the end. So all that text is selected. Then I can let go of the mouse line. Let's try that again. There we go. And I'm just going to type to compare prices online instead. So I don't have to delete or backspace or anything. I just type to compare prices online. Then I'm going to click Mark as Answered and go to the next step. This is a pretty easy step. It wants me to hit Control S to quickly save the document. So again, I have to click in here, make sure it's active. I can tell because the cursor will be flashing, and I will hit the Control key. I'll hold it down and then tap S. You can see my cursor did a little wonky thing. That lets me know it was thinking for a second, and I'm pretty sure it's saved. So I'll click mark as answered. And then I'll click next. And then the last step is to click the close button for this document. So in the close button, we're going to go to File, down to Close out that first document, the one about the travels. And then on the second one, it wants us to press Control W to close the next one. So this is the soccer coach Pee Wee League. I got to click into it again to make sure it's active before I can do the keyboard shortcut. Then I'm going to hold Control down and hit W. And those both closed. I didn't get a window asking me to save or not save, but if you do, you don't have to save. Or it wants you to save. There already should be saved, so click mark as answered and then show results and then click yes. And there we go. And hit the X button. It will take you back to JasperActive.